wonder if there's a way to disable all of that.
What's up, everybody? Look who we got in the building. We'll be live in 2 seconds. We'll see y'all soon.
What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Fred Leonard, subprime hero.
And we're hanging out with this guy who's so shy and scared of the camera. The only
Glenn
Lundy.
Oh, please don't make it about me. Please don't make this about me this morning. You know I don't like the spotlight.
Not at all.
I don't
No,
like
he
the
does.
spotlight.
He's a little shy on a stage.
Totally.
A little bit.
Behind the scenes guy. I'm a behind the scenes guy.
Always
I don't
has
know.
been.
A lot of people may not be able to recognize you without the shiny tie. Okay, the shiny tie definitely is part of the package, and we absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, it is on the cover of this book that you just put out.
Very
you just
true.
put out a fresh new writing, brother. That is, I mean, it's getting into so many hands, and a lot of people are picking up. It's a bestseller already.
True.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. No big deal. Thank you.
No big deal. No big deal. But tell us a little bit about this book and this the journey that you had getting to this book to market.
Hey, there it is right there. There
Damn.
it is. That's a good looking book cover, man.
It is, folks. And if you ever get a chance to, I'm lucky. I got one that's signed. I'm super blessed. You know, I'm excited to read it. You know, I finally got my signed copy this time. I missed it any day. It was gone. By the time I went to go get them, they were gone. Every one of your books. So pretty awesome that they're gone. And all the ones here are gone too. And I got one. So I'm blessed. Can't wait to read it, folks. You can get it anywhere. Amazon. You can go to Barnes and Noble. It's there. So go ahead and check it out. Get you guys a copy of this. Glenn, congratulations on that.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. And Lou, yeah, the legacy titles, man. It was like 5 years in the making, right? I outlined it. I was talking to like a publisher. There was all these things, but it just didn't feel right. Like I was bored with my own book. You know what I'm saying? Like I outlined all these principles of growth and success, and they're all good. Like everything in there is valid, and it all comes from actual experience and wisdom. But it was boring. Like I was bored. I'm like, dude, and so it's for 5 years. I kept trying to figure out how do we put this in a vehicle where people can learn the strategies and the principles, but not be bored to death. Like, how do we do that? And so I went to where I always go when I can't find an answer, right? So I went to the best-selling book of all time.
That's right. Most stolen book of all time.
Right, exactly. So
All
went to
the
the Holy
above.
Bible, and as I'm looking in there, I'm like, dude, the answer's right here. Like stories, man, parables. Like
Yeah.
the best way to deliver nuggets and wisdom is to speak to people in a language they understand and give them some sort of captivating, entertaining story that they can follow, right? That's how we teach our kids. That's how it's what we've done forever and ever and ever. So the legacy titles, 12 proven principles to grow your business 800%. And right here at the bottom, it says a parable for success. So I took the strategies and the principles and I turned it into this story about a guy named Alfred, and his grandfather passes away and leaves him a chest. And in that chest, there are 12 old car titles. And these car titles each have a different principle.
I love it.
So he reads the car title, then he goes to his dealership, he applies it, he has some wins, he has some losses, so on and so forth, right? And then he goes through each title in the book as a story. So you're following Alfred on this journey as he goes through the thing. So that's how we ended up putting it together. And once I kind of figured that part out, it was much easier
That's awesome.
to get it rolling.
I mean, only 5 years. I mean, people take. I know me. We take way longer to write books, but brother, to see the importance of taking what is right there inside of Scripture, the method of teaching with parables, converting it, making it the way that you're delivering your stuff. One, that's inspiring, but it's also consistent with who it is that you are, and who it is that you've been to the industry,
Man,
who it is that you are to us as a
So
brother.
true.
Yeah, thank you.
And who it is that you're created to be. I mean, this is who you are created to be. And the scripture does say, those that have an ear to hear, let them hear. You have a voice that's being used for people that want to hear how to go forward, that want to hear how to grow. What is it like seeing so many of the people come alive with, whether it's your talks in a small session, your talks on a big stage, the grandest stages, on your show every day? What is it like seeing them start to get their wins and start to find their wings? What has it been like for you? Because you see so many people blossom right before your eyes.
Yeah.
What is that like for you?
You know, it's weird. It's almost like a little bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to some of those things, right? Because we see a lot of people win, and like, I want people to win. I cheer for people to win. It's invigorating when people are winning, right? Somebody gets a principle, they understand something, they apply something, they execute something. Like, right? Like, that's what you want. And at the same time, there's other people that can receive that same info, not execute on it, not be able to turn things around. So it's weird. And like, I'm not bagging on that person. What I'm saying is, then I'm looking in the mirror going, what am I doing wrong? How come I'm not getting through to them? Like, how do I help them? You know what I'm saying?
So true. That's so true.
And so it's like this weird thing, because it is such a joy to see people winning. And sometimes it becomes a little bit of I don't know, just a little bit of a heavy weight, knowing like, okay, come on, like, we got to help more, we got to reach more, we got to impact more. So it's both.
Well, I think our daddy understands that more than anybody, right?
No
Because that Bible's been available for everybody to sink their teeth into, to get some understanding, to learn,
For a
to
long
figure out
time.
who it is that they are. And right now it's still available, just like your book's available for somebody to take the wisdom in it and apply it, or take it, toss it aside, or never even crack it open. Right. And inside of that, it's what's really, really awesome is that we get to actually see people that do come alive. I mean, we having the burden of that heavy weight of I really want to see you succeed, and I believe in you, and I believe in you. It still falls on them, right? They still got to read the book. They still got to make it.
They got to make the choices.
You've had the chance to submit to a bunch of bad choices in your life,
sure,
and let that be your path. We just had an incredible guest just on the show who is a great witness.
I can't wait to watch that.
Such a great witness that you can
man.
be as counted out as society can count you,
right,
and even count yourself out. But it just takes one yes. It just takes one step forward to start beginning it.
Thank you, automotive.
Yes, amen to that.
Automotive.
What a business,
It lets all us hoodlums in.
It does,
It
does. It lets people who are ambitious and just want to find something that they need, that gives them self-worth. Because the thing is, our job, it's all about what you put in. It's 100% about what you put in. If you put no work in, you won't receive anything back. So it's a pure reflection of how hard you work, how good you work, and how well you work with everyone that you currently have to be able to grow even more. So as long as you understand that, it's really, are you a hard worker or not? And this job shows that so fast. So even if you think you go somewhere and you don't get the best breaks, you can get into this industry and it's just about what you do. It doesn't matter about breaks. It's about putting the work in. And this is proof in the pudding everywhere. And I love it. And Glenn's obviously proof of that. We've heard his stories. We know that he's been homeless, sleeping on couches. We know that he's almost taken his life, and we also know that he also has given life. He's put life into a lot of people, such as myself and so many others. He has children that he's putting life into. Talk about somebody who has plenty of practice of being a leader and doing things like that for folks, being able to put love into someone and see it become something, and that's something that's super special and you're super talented with, man. It's the way you speak, and not even in his book, but when he talks, kind of paused up, but when he talks in such a way that you really feel it. Like you just, like that story, you're like, man, it's such an unbelievable story, but I get the point of the story. I understand why you told me that story. And man, I get it. I'm going to imply that. And I get why I need to make sure that I do things like that in my life, because how it affected this person through time. I love it. I love how you talk about your grandfather, you talk about your grandmother, you talk about your father, your mother, your life. And you share all that. Being vulnerable is huge. And that's the whole key to, I think, helping other people see the difference. The guy we had earlier, Aaron, he was being very vulnerable on the show, talking about his past and things. And the only way that he can get others to do the same is to be vulnerable. And that's what you do. You're an example of what looks like in the pit, but also what it looks like to be in heaven. So it's awesome.
We got to share stories, testimonies.
Amen
It's
to
a
that.
proven concept.
Yeah, that's right.
And
100%.
from marketing to biblical to whatever, right? Like testimony is key. And I was talking to well, two things. Why is your chair so high, bro?
You know what? Danelle
Like,
yesterday
what are you
sat down
doing?
in
What are you doing?
Well, I'm a
today,
lot
bro?
taller than you.
No, you're not though.
Not in real life.
But, yeah, but you're making it look like that on there.
I'm
Now I
great with
understand
you.
why his chair's high.
Oh, there we go.
I'm
But
really
or should I bring mine up? Like
There we go. We're
I
good
was
now.
just thinking, I'm like,
You know,
I'm staring
thank you.
up at you like
I
you're a
wanna take mine.
7-footer or something. I'm like,
I feel like it. I felt like it.
all that, man. 7 feet. Come on, man.
Perception matters.
No, but you have to you know, we got to share a voice. Otherwise, I was talking to a guy yesterday. He was like, "What would you say to somebody?" Oh, I was talking to Sean, the guy who spoke yesterday.
Yeah.
What's his last name? Kessler. Is that his last name?
Yes. Yeah.
Sean Kessler, I think it is. But I was talking to him, and he's like, "Man, you know, I'm doing some cool stuff, and I've had success in my life." And da, 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 da. He's like, "But I grew up a certain way, and like, I don't want to like show up on like video. I don't want to make posts. Like, I just want to do everything kind of back here behind the scenes." He goes, "But something tells me that I need to be showing some of this stuff." He goes, "So what do you say to somebody who's in my spot?" I'm like, "Bro, they can't find you if you're hiding in the dark. Like they can't find you." And I don't know who that person is that needs to find you, right? But we're all, our voices resonate at different frequencies. We connect with different people. We all have different personalities.
That's right.
And we all have had people in our life where we find that person and we're like, "Oh, this is my person. Like I needed this person in my life," right?
Yeah.
So if Sean or any of you continue to hide in the dark and don't share your story, don't raise your voice, and don't shine your light, there's someone out there that is looking for you right now, but they can't find you because you're hiding in the corners,
That's
right?
so true. You
So
know,
it's just super important that we
I believe
raise up.
I believe in that so
Speak up.
much.
What's up, Facebook user? How are you?
Be
Where do I find
be
that chair?
uncomfortable, y'all. You really have to be out there and just let people know that, hey, it's okay to be you authentically. You know, I love that. Michael Mills says being authentic gets real results. Yes, because it's easy to do so. You don't have to fake anything. That means when somebody comes back and talks to you, you're still the same person. You know, that's what authenticity, whatever I can't even say the word.
Authenticity.
There you go. Authenticity. That's what authenticity does. It makes it to where you just be you. And the more that you can do that, the better. But here's the key. You also have to be educated on how to sell a vehicle if you're an automotive, right? You have to also be educated on what vehicle you are selling. You have to be educated in the process. So it's not just being yourself. You have to also grow as you're doing it, right? So learn that stuff, folks, but be true to yourself. Don't lie to people. The job of a salesperson isn't to lie to sell a car. I know that's kind of misconception. We always hear this. And don't get me wrong, people have done it in the past. And people probably still do it a lot. But I'm going to tell you.
You're not supposed to lie? Oh, man.
But you can tell
I
stories.
thought that was the whole
You
strategy.
can. I paint pictures. I tell people I paint pictures for them. I let them see it in a way that they can actually feel it. And no different than how Glenn's book is, how he speaks on the stage is when you can make them start to almost put themselves in that seat. All of a sudden in their mind, they're like, I see what you mean by that. This makes sense for me now. I can actually see myself doing this for the next 3 to 4 years, right? So, but you have to paint that. You can't just tell them that. You have to show them. You have to be an artist and really get them to start almost seeing it turn into this cloud in front of them, and they just see the movie, you know. And if you can do that, it's massive. Glenn, you do it all the time, brother.
Well, and a lot of
I love it.
And a lot of that, dude, like it's not anything we don't all do naturally anyway. It really comes from like heart and intention, right? Like, okay, I'm young, right? I'm young and I'm single and there's a girl and I'm thinking maybe that's my future wife. I don't know. Right. And so now I'm not a salesperson, right? I work at, 7-Eleven, doing whatever. But all of a sudden, I got some stories for old girl, right?
Oh yeah,
I got some kind of story for her.
I got good setups for
like,
that.
I got something to say, and so
true.
And we tell her a story, and we convince her that we're going to be the best thing in the world. We're her knight in shining armor. We're going to whisk her away, and it doesn't matter that we live under a rock and we ain't got $2 to our name. All of a sudden, we got stories, right?
Believe in me, baby.
And it's the same thing with all of my kids, dude. I tell my kids stories like all the time, and they're telling me stories all the time, right? And from your people that you work with, like just it's that natural way that we communicate. If there's something we're passionate about, we will create a compelling enough story to get that thing that we want, right?
God bless.
And so I don't want people to like overcomplicate it, right?
No.
Sales is just
relationships.
if you care enough about it,
Mhm.
then you'll just do what you naturally would do.
I agree with you so much. And that's something that I was in a very similar term to what you're saying is how I was told. Like, was doing well. And then when I was to get over the edge, it was when I had a general manager basically tell me that. He goes, it's just the same thing. He mentioned, hey, do you go out and do this? I'm like, yes. And he was like, well, same thing. And then it really clicked in my brain, like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to make it so technical? Like, just talk to them, ask them certain
Nobody
questions,
wants that.
lead them to the direction you want to go. They got to be intentional questions that go a direction. And if you get them to that they'll answer the right questions. You know how to help them, and it's so true. And it's no different than how you meet your first, like when I met my wife, the way I got her phone number, everything. It was all the way I set that up.
Yeah, man.
It's the way that I talk to everyone I do. So it's all inclusive in how we build relationships with people, because you don't just go to somebody and say, hey, go out with me. You go out there and you ask them questions like, hey, where are you from? How long you been there? What do you do for a living?
Right.
And then you start to get to
This
know
is
some
why the new
common
guy
ground.
always sells so many cars,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
He's just talking to people. He
And
has
he's
no
happy.
idea.
He's enthusiastic.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just-
like, yeah,
so happy to
cool,
be
yeah,
here.
yeah,
whatever. I just love talking to everyone.
Then 3 months in, they're like, "What's your credit score?
They can't buy anything,
You owe any
man.
money on that trade?"
Come on, man.
They couldn't buy anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're upside down.
Talking
Man.
themselves out of the
Yeah,
deal.
I love this.
Like,
One of
crazy.
my very first mentors that helped me learn how to sell,
Matt.
got me my fundamentals. Matt Damos says the purpose of a storyteller is not to tell you how to think, but to give you questions to think
Yeah,
upon.
that's it.
My man.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Matt.
you, brother.
Another Facebook user jumping up in here. We're some of their favorites. Thank you, Facebook user. Don't know who you are. Appreciate you. You drop your name in there.
All I know is
Appreciate
Fred
you
was
being part of
first,
the
I
party.
was second, and you were third. Just
That's how it goes, man.
not that I'm competitive.
Or if it's just in order of the screen. Boom, boom, and boom.
Yeah, I don't
Appreciate
know.
that.
I don't know. It might have been podium.
Maybe it was when the seats before the seats were adjusted. It was. Oh, I hear
My
you.
brother's jumping in here. What's going on, Joey? I love the way you both tell stories.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on.
Appreciate you, Joe. He's serving our country. He's over in California right now in the Air Force.
Hoorah.
Nice. Thank you, brother.
So thankful for each and every one of you that are tuning in. And for those of you that are watching, help us out real quick. Tag a car guy.
Tag a car gal and share.
Get the message out there, everybody. Let
This
them
thumbs
know
up thing.
that we have the incredible Glenn Lundy inside of the studio,
It's like this
inside
new-
of the makeshift studio. People actually think this is our hub. Like, this is where we work, is here at Drive Centric. Why does that keep happening?
I don't know. It's
It's
so
so
odd.
exciting. Let me see.
But it is
Keep going.
exciting what is happening here at the Drive Centric event. There's so
No,
many
actually,
different
this is
people.
a full-on studio. We are in Kentucky. Yeah, we're just pretending to be in St. Louis.
We
Right?
don't.
But we're actually in Kentucky.
We're actually in Kentucky.
We're actually down in you guys' basement, right?
Yeah,
Under the
man.
house. The
Yes.
kids are
Yeah,
upstairs,
you know the
wives
deal.
are doing the thing. They're up there chatting.
We're not
Like,
really here.
yeah, we're not. You might think we're here, but
Or we
are.
might. Or
we've just been
but we
flying
are.
back and forth. We've just been
Yeah,
flying
I've been on
And
Glenn's
even
jet.
in the jet. Yeah,
We've been on Glenn's
flying back
jet,
and
just-
forth in the jet.
It's like 30-minute skip.
Wanna do a quick interview. All right, let's run back to your
Let's
house
run
real
back
quick.
I mean, I would love for that to happen one day. We need to
No,
get
you
together.
guys are always on the road, and you guys do a phenomenal job, man. And
Thank you, brother.
like, it's always so professional. It's always amazing. It's always fun talking with you guys, and energetic, and great, questions and conversations. So these guys are legit, man. They're the real deal. So
Man,
support
Appreciate
them, follow them, share
Yeah,
them,
well,
tag
thank you,
a
man.
friend, do all that cool stuff.
And folks, and again, go out and get this book. If you guys don't have a copy of this book, it's time for you to go get this book. Please do. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. I can't wait to read it. I will be giving my review, so be looking out for that really soon. I'll let you know how
And
I
if
feel
you
about the
don't
book.
read paper, dude, the audio experience
Dude,
is ridiculous.
I got to do both.
Like, for
I'm
real.
probably going to do both at the same time.
There's never anybody who's never listened to an audiobook, you've never listened to an audio experience like this. It's
That's what I hear.
sound engineering, all kinds of theatrical
Music.
sounds, music,
Love it.
interviews in between the chapters that go deeper into the
Yeah.
concepts and the principles. Like, I know I wrote it, dude, but it's great. Like, it's amazing. Like,
Well, I mean-
the book is good. The audio experience is amazing.
Well, I know you, Glenn,
Like,
and I
it's
know
a
that
whole
when you
other
do
level.
things, you always try to do it with one more step to it, right?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I love that. And Tony Lucas says it's a great book. I know he reads a lot, so I know that he means that.
Thank
He wouldn't
you,
say
Tony.
that. He's definitely a very honest guy. It's one thing I love about Tony Lucas.
Straightforward.
He's a straightforward dude. He tells you what's up, man. But man, is he hilarious though.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, Tony. You know what you're doing. So we love you, brother. We love you, and we love you, Glenn, man, and we appreciate you for everything that you do, the way that you lead the way and inspire so many, and inspire me, inspire Lou, I mean, just so many people. Like every single day, even in my clubhouse room, when people come in, they're coming from what you created was the Breakfast of Champions. They're always walking over saying hello to us, and it's always because of something you started. You're the one who told us you need to get on Clubhouse. You need to get on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for all the advice you've given
We
me
need
over
a
the
new
years.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, we do. What's
Like,
next?
we need-
What is that? What's that going to be?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Remember,
Gary says
trying to see
everybody's
what else
live
we
streaming
turned into
on Twitch,
Twitch.
Yeah.
A lot of people is doing the Twitch thing.
which
Didn't
Twitch has been around forever.
Facebook
But
did their little room.
Yeah,
thing,
but it's more been
tried
for
to do
gamers.
something
yeah, that
for a
didn't
minute.
work.
But either way, you
Twitter
know,
Spaces is all
conversations need to be
political.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Twitch might be the one.
Twitch might.
Maybe.
Gary V. He just did a new show that's going live on
Twitch.
Twitch. Yeah,
Hmm.
because he feels like it's
I mean, that's
moving
a-
back
it's a
there.
huge-
I'm gonna
streaming
sprinkle that way
spot. I mean,
because we
that's
can't stream to there, so I'm
yeah,
gonna do
so-
that. So make
Yeah.
folks be looking for us on Twitch.
Twitch.
Twitch,
You don't know,
baby.
if you know what the heck? If you don't know what the heck Twitch is, get with the program.
Talk to your
People,
kids. They'll know.
Talk to your
Talk to your
children.
kids. They know, right?
They know exactly what it is.
And they'll do the look.
I personally don't know how to use it.
I don't either. I'll figure. I don't even know what the purpose. I stream stuff. I'm like, where'd it go? I don't know what that is.
How do you find it? I don't know.
We'll figure that out and we'll learn about it because that's what we do. We're solutionaries.
That's
and,
right.
And this is Glenn Lundy, folks, the one, the only, man. We appreciate you again, my man.
You too.
Seriously,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you for your time today. Thank you for coming to this event. I know that Drive Centric loves having you here. You always bring so much knowledge. The people, the dealers, they love seeing you speak because the stories, the way you do it, but more importantly, the way that you inspire them to go out and do things. Because the way they make excuses, they can't if they're in front of you. Like, okay, you're right, you got to do this. So great
Yeah.
job, man.
But,
And the 800%
thanks,
Club,
Philip.
folks, that automotive club is crushing it. Some of my best friends, some of my favorite dealers are in that group, man. I'm telling you, and they love it. It's not the excursions that make it great because they are dope. What
They
makes
are
it
dope.
great is
Jessica does all those.
it's them. Yeah, Jessica, she's amazing. You guys saw her
Yeah.
yesterday, but it's the meetings, it's the knowledge that gets shared amongst the dealers, you know. And then Glenn sprinkles his little, right?
Yeah, just
But-
a little.
But it's them all working together and Glenn guiding the way, leading the way, showing them how you can do 800% in your business. So
Let's go.
Now, Glenn is here, and everywhere it is that he goes, there's this message that you're leaving everybody with a question. You're leaving them. What is it? 3-word question?
Who are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those that are watching, whether you're hearing this on the live or you're hearing this on the podcast, or you're watching this on the replay, or you're with us right now live, that question that you see, I mean, it's a gut shot, like boosh, that everybody has to take that in.
Yeah.
Explain your purpose behind asking that question of everybody, because those of you that are watching, you need to be asked that, because he's doing him, we're doing us. You got to do you.
Yeah.
But Glenn, you asked him, well, who are you?
Well, I didn't realize till a little bit later in life, but the way you answer the question, you know, who are you? Right? Or if you're saying it to yourself, you're like, who am I? Like the way that you answer that question ultimately determines the outcome of your life. Like it's that serious, right? If you say, I am broke, right? Who am I? I'm a broke, non-smart, ugly person.
right.
Well, guess what, dude? Your
Sure.
life is going to be broke,
So true.
unsmart,
So true.
and you're gonna feel ugly no matter what you actually look like or what.
Man.
And then you'll start to carry yourself like you're ugly. You'll start to talk like you're not smart. You'll make terrible decisions with your money, all because of how you answered the question,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, who am I? And it has nothing to do with like your skin color. It's got nothing to do with your religion. It's got nothing to do with your political views. It's just like, who are you? What is your identity? And I think all of us go through seasons where we struggle
Yeah,
with our identity,
agree
right?
with
I
you
think
on that.
everybody does, no matter what their background, whatever. I think everybody struggles with identity.
Uh-huh.
And some people go their whole life with that identity struggle. And when we struggle with identity, here's what we do. When we don't know who we are, we try to be something we're not. We try to be someone else. Right. So this is why social blows up, right?
Mhm.
You follow these people and you're so
Yeah,
cool. Like,
true.
man, I wish I had their life. I wish I had their house. I wish I had their
Mhm.
car. I wish I had their wife. I wish I had their husband. I wish I had their physique. I wish I could eat like them. I wish I, right?
Keeps
Because we
going.
don't know who we are. So we're like, okay, well, maybe I'm that, right? When I was a kid, and not even a kid, but when I was younger and didn't know who I was, when I was with cowboys, I was a cowboy. When I was with gangsters, I was a gangster. When I was with Mexicans, I was Mexican. When I was black, I was black. Like, I didn't know. So I just was like a chameleon, right? Well, when you live your life that way, you end up depressed. You end up lost, confused.
So true.
Life is chaotic. You know what I'm saying? And so we need to get very clear with who we are. You need to get very clear with who you are, which takes study of spiritual mind, body, and spirit, right? You got to get a full understanding of those three aspects of yourself. And then we need to start teaching. I think we need to start teaching people younger, like how to identify those seeds within themselves, so that instead of looking for exterior, oh, I want to be that, we can start looking interior and go, oh, I am this.
Amen to that.
Does that make sense?
Makes all the sense in the world to me.
So yeah, that's why that question is so important, I think, because ultimately how you answer it determines the outcome of your life. And I don't think enough people understand that.
It's so profound, so true. So glad that you're sharing that the way that you are. The word says that as a man believes in his heart, so is he. So to your point earlier, if it's the bad, it's going to be the bad. If it's the good, it's going to be the good.
Right.
Death and life is in the power of the same tongue.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we can speak death and darkness, and it will be you. That will be the world around you. Or you can speak light. You can speak hope in others. This is why it's so important for you all that are around anybody to be quick to forgive and speak hope. Honor what's great about somebody, right? Don't get tripped up on who they're not.
Right.
Speak that light. Speak
right.
what's great about them until it is the dominating force around them. But dark has no fellowship with light. Light has no fellowship with darkness. When the light shows up, the dark has to go. And that's what you're doing.
Has to go.
Bright, tie, and all. Bring in the bright light everywhere.
Bright, tie, and all.
Listen, we appreciate you.
Thank
we
you,
honor
man.
you. And
Man, we do.
continue.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Asking
time
that
for
question.
one story real quick?
Of course.
We got all the time for Glenn Lundy.
Just
Come
to
on.
add,
All the time for Glenn Lundy. Bring it.
to add into this conversation, this is real life practical application, so people can understand this, right? So my son, he's now 11. Joel's 11.
Wow,
right?
man.
But when he was 5 or 6, I think it was 5. But we had a wooden play set out in the backyard that they play on, right? And there's a slide, and you put your hands on the thing and like slide down. Well, wasps tend to like these little nooks and crannies, right? And so every once in a while, we'll have a wasp nest get built, somewhere in there. And Joel, he lied to me when he was littler, but he told me the truth later. But he told me he had grabbed to slide down the thing, and he grabbed the wasp nest. Well, his hand got stung 5 times. He got 5 wasps.
Ouch. Oh,
now he told me later he was actually
trying to get it,
messing around with it. But so he got stung on his hand 5 times. So I want you to imagine your 5-year-old, 6-year-old son gets stung on his hand 5 times. I mean, his hand is swollen up, and he's screaming bloody murder, right? Because he just got stung. So he comes running into the house, he's screaming bloody murder, his hand's all blown up. His mom's like, oh crap, what's going on? And I don't know what compelled me, but I just thought, this is going to be a traumatic moment in this kid's life. And he's going to be fearful of wasps, bees, anything forever because of this one experience. Unless we can plant like a different seed, right? So he's on the counter, the kitchen counter. My wife's trying to, calm him down, so on and so forth. And I went over and I just whispered in his ear and I said, thank you, Joel. And he kind of looked at me weird. And I was like, bro, you're a hero. You found the wasp nest. Like, you took those 5 stings, so none of your sisters had to take those stings. Like, now I can I can get the little spray. I can kill the wasp nest. Like, you're a hero, dude. You saved your sisters from getting freaking stung.
Wow.
Because you could handle it and they couldn't.
Wow.
Tears slowed down, right? He calms down. Now, fast forward 6 years later, this kid catches mice with his bare hands. We'll be in a park, a wasp will land on him, and he'll just play with it, let it walk on his arm.
Yeah.
He is not afraid of any insects, any critters,
it's amazing.
nothing.
What a story.
And he has this
Wow.
kind of protective
Those
hero
I love that.
thing,
I'm the protector,
right?
Yeah.
Versus being a victim to the circumstance, he became a hero of it. And so it just goes back
So now
to
he
like,
just always does it.
yeah, now he just always does it. So now it goes back, to who are you? Like, what are you telling yourself? What is the narrative? What is the story?
Mm.
And like you said, we can breathe life and death. It comes from the same tongue, right? So let's choose to breathe life into others, and let's help educate others on how to breathe life into themselves,
I love
Yes.
right? And we can take victims and turn them into victors.
Woo!
Come on.
Love that. You know, and you said
That's a
something.
great story.
You,
I feel
you,
like
and you
I want to like.
I know, right?
Awesome, Dad.
That was really awesome. Way to do that for your son and for your family, really. You know, because that's a beautiful thing to be able to do. That was great advice. I hope you guys took some notes on that. If you're a young parent and you have a child that's going through a situation, you know, encourage it in a different way. React completely different. See how they react differently later, and become that person. Right? That's an amazing story. You know, you said something in ADA about we are all creators.
Yes.
And that's ultimately what that is. You create by what you say and how you do and where you go. So folks, be careful what you create, because your words are very powerful. What you say about yourself will become what you say. So
No doubt.
love yourself, and that's the key. Make sure that your cup's overflowing. Love yourself so you can pour into others, and you will do much better in life. I promise. So I love it, man. This is such good stuff.
Yeah,
That was a hell of a story.
always a great time.
And your son is like
with the one
such a
and
good
only
looking
Glenn.
little kid, dude.
Thanks,
Man,
man.
you're gonna have some trouble.
Don't let
later.
him hear you call him little though. He's got
I promise you,
he'll
he's
come over the top.
Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. He does.
Love
He's,
it, guys.
you could tell he loves some sports too.
Yeah,
no doubt.
he's a great soccer player, man.
Heck yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
soccer
we love
player.
you all. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you all
everybody.
so much.
You all continue to share this around. If you enjoyed hearing from Glenn, make sure that you let him know. Send him some love. Reach out.
Hit me up.
Get the
Hit me
book.
up.
Get the book.
That's
and,
right.
And make sure that you do share it around, but apply it, everybody. But go shine your light. Go do what you're created to do today. And we wanted to pour a little bit inside of your cup so you can do so. But we're going to make sure that we drop these F-bombs. We're going to forgive, focus, and fly so that we can keep growing all the time, everybody. No stranger to the moves or the motions. Glenn Lundy's with us. And we are actually at Drive Centric headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri, having some fun.
Or are we?
20.
Or
You'll never know.
Let's forgive, focus, fly, everybody. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Forgive,
oh,
focus,
yeah.
fly,
fly,
and keep growing.
Keep
Woo!
growing.
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Leonard's subprime hero,
And we've been brewing this inner brew with the one,
the
the
only Glenn Lundy.
We'll see you all later.
Let's
Keep
go.
brewing.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.